Hello, my name is Keshwani. It's K-E-S-H-W-A-N-I, Keshwani. I have been solving math problems, data sufficiency problems, that is, out of this book here, GMAT Review, the official guide, 12th edition. If you do not own this book already, purchase one immediately. You should be able to find it at mba.com. The problem that I'm about to solve is the one that you're going to find on page number 277, data sufficiency problem, number 49. Let's take a look at it, see what it has to say. We are told that we have some quantity x which lies between a and b. X is somewhere between a and b. And we are also told that y is somewhere between c and d. The question simply is x less than y? That's all they're asking. But so far they have told us absolutely nothing about the quantity A or quantity B, in other words, the lower limit and the upper limit of x. We do not know what they are. We just told that x is somewhere between A and B, and y is somewhere between C and D. But we know nothing at all about these four quantities A, B, C, or D. Let's see if the first statement tells us anything. The first statement tells us that since this is the data sufficiency problem, very first thing we should do is write down A, D, B, C, E. The first statement tells us that A is less than C. Well, is that going to help us in determining whether or not x is less than y? What does the first statement tell us? It tells us that A, which is the lower limit on x, is smaller than C, which is the lower limit on y. Knowing that the lower limit on x is actually smaller than the lower limit on y does not tell us whether x itself is less than y. For example, the lower limit on x is less than c. Say for example, this is 10 and this is 100. So here, as you can see, the lower limit on x, 10, is less than the lower limit on y, which is 100, which means y cannot be less than, y has to be something more than 100. But then watch what happens. What if the upper limit on b is 1,000,000 and the upper limit on d is only 110? So the highest that d can be is, since not even equal sign, it has to be something less than 110, but highest than x can be something very close to 1,000,000. So we cannot tell if x is less than y based on the lower limit. We need to know something about the upper limit. Knowing the lower limit does nothing at all in determining whether x is less than y. The first statement is useless, which tells us that the answer, whatever it is, cannot be A, nor can it be D. Let's look at the second statement. Perhaps second statement will tell us something about the upper limit. Second statement tells us that B is less than C. Ah, there you go. B is less than C. Now we are going someplace. Let's erase all of this thing. B is less than C. That makes life very easy. B, which is a lower limit on x, which is the upper limit on x. So what second statement tells us is that the upper limit on x is actually less than the C, which is the lower limit on y. In other words, to put it plainly, what the second statement tells us is that the highest value that x can take, the highest value that x can take, even that highest value of x is actually less than the lowest value of y. The lowest value of y that can be is more than c. Y has to be more than c. And c is actually bigger than b. C is bigger than b. In other words, the lowest value on y is actually bigger than the highest value of x. Well, if that's the case, then y would have to be bigger than x. This implies that y would have to be bigger than x. So, is x less than y? The answer based on second statement, yes it is. This is enough. That's all. So therefore the answer is B. Or if you wanted to plug in numbers like before, we could do that just to show you here. For example, since we are told that b is less than c, maybe b is, let's say, 100 and c is 101. See, b is less than c. b is less than c. That tells us that x cannot be 100. And this tells us that the y has to be more than 101. If y has to be more than 101 and highest value that x can take is 99.99999 repeating, and that's all it can take, then of course x will have to be smaller than y regardless of what x happens to be in this range and regardless of what y actually happens to be in this range. That's all. The answer is B. That's it, we're done. That was the end of it. I hope you found this helpful. If you wish to get hold of me for personal private tutoring, either through Skype or through internet or through telephone or in person, send me an email. Go to my website at www.prep, GMAT.com or kashwaniprep.com and send me an email. Alright? Thanks.